The truth hurts. But let's try to understand that a little more deeply. Why exactly is it that the truth hurts? And what is it, in essence, that the truth is hurting? Could the truth be hurting your soul? Well, even though we may think we're feeling that pain deep down to the depths of our soul, it's likely not your soul that's being hurt by the truth. More than likely, it's your pride and your ego. And before you try to go, oh, ego is such a bad thing, I'm such a horrible person. No. Let's not go there at all. Everybody has one. Everybody has a front side, and everybody has, well, a backside as well. It's just that sometimes we just want that front side to be known, and we have to put that front side into the situation because we have to go into something head first and really deal with it to the best of our capacity, to the extent that we don't pay attention to the backside. And, next thing you know, everybody else is noticing your backside. And because of that, they think that you're, well, let's not say that on primetime YouTube, shall we? They think that you're being a real you-know-what. And so that's usually when you're having to confront that truth that you don't really want to confront. That's usually when the truth hurts. And why does the truth hurt? Well, because you've been covering over a vulnerability. Why? Most likely because you have to, or at least you feel like that's the case. Let's face it, the last several weeks have likely been really difficult. There's been a lot of pressure in your world. You've been dealing, with a lot of, timely issues that are very time sensitive in nature that are making you feel like that you've got a decision that's looming on the horizon, but because of all the other things that you're having to micromanage in the process, you find yourself in a position where you haven't really been able to take a look at that decision that's been looming on the horizon. And, other people who are involved in this scenario as well, they're likely dealing with that very same process of having to confront a side of themselves that they don't want to have to take a look at. And they're likely finding themselves in a scenario of equally having to soldier through a situation. And so when you reach that moment, when finally the light shines into the situation, then you have to confront something. And in one area of your life, you're dealing with just such a scenario. So what might that relate to? That's going to depend upon what the lunar eclipse is interacting with in your own personal horoscope, planets that it's forming an interaction with, the houses that it's relating to, the houses that those planets rule, dasha periods. All of those things play into understanding how your life is impacted. And if you'd like a deeper look at that, I do offer several different levels of astrological service. One of those is an eclipse consultation that is designed especially to take a look at the eclipse as it relates to your own personal horoscope. If you're not able to schedule in time for the lunar eclipse, that's okay, because this will take a look at the solar eclipse as well as taking a look at the next 6 months, because that's generally the period between eclipse periods. So if you're interested in scheduling that consultation or any other, you can do that at the link that you'll see above. And so you're having to confront the truth. You're having to take a look at a vulnerability. You're having to take a good, hard look in the mirror. And what are you seeing in the process? Imperfection. And you know what? That's maybe why you've been hiding from this in the first place. We don't like to feel vulnerable. We don't always want to have to look at our imperfections. Yes, we know we're imperfect, right? As a matter of fact, when we come up against those day-to-day failures that inevitably happen in everybody's life, of course we're going to feel like I'm not perfect. When you're having to confront what feels and what seems like a failure to you over and over and over again, you place yourself in a situation where, in order to not think that you're a failure, you just have to soldier through the difficulty. You have to have strength to make it through a situation. You have to, deal with the you-know-what and kind of push your way through it all with a shovel that's, strong enough to kind of shovel it and put it behind you. But when you get to a space where A, either you've put enough of it behind you, or B, you just can't hide from the fact that you're knee deep in it, then you find yourself in a position where you have to take a look and you have to try to understand. But guess what? The truth doesn't just hurt. The truth burns. And that may sound like a bad thing too, but the truth burning is not a bad thing, because what is it burning away? It's burning away the impurities. It's burning away that clouded judgment. And with that clouded judgment, it's also burning away wrong judgment that you've held of yourself, not just in terms of going, oh, I thought I was this, great, fine, outstanding person, but it's also burning away the way in which you've looked at yourself in a negative manner. And if you let that process happen, a really interesting thing occurs. You come to a deeper understanding of the truth. Through understanding that, then you can place yourself in a greater level of acceptance, both of the situation and, in addition to that, of yourself. And you'll likely find with this particular eclipse period that when you do that, that there are things that have been said about the situation that you're dealing with, or things that have been said about you that don't quite hold water. Don't be afraid at that time to state your own version of the truth, your own way of seeing things, especially when you're speaking straight from here and when you're speaking straight from your strength. But do so with humility. The truth only has to hurt for maybe a moment, and you can question whether that's because we let it hurt. Right? If it goes any longer than that initial moment of the reaction, which is just a gut reaction to what's being said, right? If it goes any longer than that, it's usually us allowing ourselves to continue to let it hurt. The truth is indeed an opportunity. And if you care, and chances are that you care, because let's face it, that's how you got to this particular moment in time. You've been devoted to a particular situation. You've put your all into whatever you're involved in. You've tried your hardest, right? But in that sense of trying hard, you've been perhaps hiding from something and not looking at quite a lot of things. So we know that you care. So since you do care, be willing to take a look at yourself, right? Take a look at yourself. You just might find something that you like as well as those things that you don't like. And that's the good thing about the process. One of those things you're likely going to find is that you care enough about the situation to take a look at yourself, to confront your vulnerabilities. Pardon me. And when you do that, you only stand to profit from the situation that you're dealing with. If you could use a little bit of help with that process and in making the decision that lies in front of you, I'm happy to help to point you in the right direction. All you have to do if you want to take advantage of that is schedule an astrological service with me through the services page, which you will find linked above. That's going to do it for this look at the full moon lunar eclipse, which takes place overnight from the 18th into the morning of the 19th of November, dependent upon where you are on the planet. And by the way, this eclipse will be visible in the Americas, in the UK, in Europe, and in many parts of Eastern Europe as well. But it's just a partial lunar eclipse. So until next time, Happy eclipsing. Look for a solar eclipse video coming sometime in the next 10 days. And until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.